Yeah, Iran. I remember quite a bit about Iran. This is Richard Cole with Rich is Talking. I remember reading about when the CIA put the Shah of Iran's father back in charge, and then he died, and the Shah of Iran, the last one we knew, took over. He was very friendly, spoke very good English. The women were not required to wear the hijabs, whatever they call them. They started getting Western educations. They liked the United States, the public. And then he started getting kind of nasty with us, I remember. He was one of the principals behind OPEC being formed and deciding that they need to get more money for their oil, and they raised prices and cut back on production. And that's when we had long gas lines. We would just wait forever to get gas every day. I remember waiting a couple of hours just to get gas in my car. It was a terrible time, and he was behind a lot of that. Then Carter became president, Jimmy Carter, and the people of Iran started an uprising, and they wanted a clerical government, which I don't understand why they did, but they did. And they started a big uprising, and the Shah asked America for help. Jimmy Carter gave him none. He told him it wasn't his business. And eventually he told him not to shoot any of the people, which is the only way they could keep in power, to scare them off. And so the Shah was overthrown. And as soon as the Imam Khomeini came in and took over, he executed all the top government officials of Iran, the ones that were there. And it was horrible what he did. And then a lot of people started saying, wait a minute, this is what we wanted. They started an uprising. And his people started shooting all the people, which is exactly what we told the Shah not to do. So that's Iran. Then they captured our people, everybody in our embassy, which is something you weren't supposed to do. If you have an embassy in another country, it's not friendly. It's supposed to be sacrosanct. No one can touch it. But they did it, and they held the hostages there for 344 days, over a year. Carter couldn't get them out, couldn't get it out. And then Jimmy Carter lost to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan said he's going to do something about Iran. And a day before Carter was out and Reagan was inaugurated, they released the hostages. It made Carter look stupid. So that's the history that I remember of Iran. So now we have the fear of Iran having nuclear weapons. And they are such a crazy country there, they could use them. And that's why we keep saying Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. At the same time, Trump said no wars when he got elected. But things change, and we may have to do something here. What's worse, we violate what Trump said, and we don't have a war, and Iran gets nuclear bombs. Fortunately for us, Israel is carrying out. Here's what they've done.
In a map released by Israeli military, this is the route where Israel says 70 Israeli fighter jets carried out strikes on Iran. The Iranian capital is about 450 kilometers from the border with Iraq to the west. In fact, Israeli military spokesman saying that it was the first time that Israeli jets had operated in this particular airspace and were now operating freely over Tehran.
There has been retaliation by Iran against Israel, as you can see by the following.
This is not Gaza, it's Bnei Brak city of Israel. An Iranian missile struck overnight into 16th June in central Israel, hitting the city of Bnei Brak, east of Tel Aviv. Drone footage showed extensive damage to several apartment buildings. Emergency services said an elderly man had been killed and more than 20 people were injured in the attack. A school in the ultra-Orthodox Jewish city was also hit in a separate incident. Iranian missiles struck also Israel's Tel Aviv and the port city of Haifa before dawn on Monday, killing at least 8 people and destroying homes, prompting Israel's defense minister to warn that Tehran residents would pay the price and soon. At least 100 people were wounded in Israel in the overnight blitz, part of a wave of attacks by Tehran in retaliation for Israel's strikes targeting the nuclear and ballistic missile programs of sworn enemy Iran.
You hear a lot about the Iron Dome that Israel has to protect themselves. Just what is the Iron Dome? Here's an explanation of that.
Israel's Iron Dome stunned the world as it intercepted some, but not all, of Iran's recent massive barrage of missiles raining down on the Jewish state. The strikes were in retaliation for Israel's preemptive hits earlier in the week on Iran's nuclear facilities. So how exactly does Israel's Iron Dome work? Here's what you need to know. The Iron Dome is a sophisticated defensive umbrella that shoots down rockets aimed at Israel before they reach the ground. It works by calculating the trajectory of the incoming target. Rather than trying for a head-on collision, the radar-guided missiles detonate mid-air, destroying the incoming rocket in its projected path. The Iron Dome is used for short-range, low-tech threats such as rockets, mortars, and drones, but it's not working alone. The Arrow systems are designed to intercept ballistic missiles fired from thousands of miles away, and even those coasting high above in the atmosphere. There's also David's Sling, named after the biblical hero who defeated Goliath. David's Sling is meant to engage shorter-range attacks launched roughly 60 to 120 miles away. Israeli officials have repeatedly said the system is not perfect, with one military official recently saying the shield has an 80 to 90% success rate. The Iron Dome has been in the works for decades. It was officially inaugurated in 2011, but the idea dates back to the Persian Gulf War in 1991. The Iron Dome may be a good last defense, but it's far from the only weapon in Israel's arsenal. In October 2024, just before the election, the Biden administration sent Israel our own advanced anti-missile system called THAAD. Then on Friday, June 13th, Uncle Sam helped shoot down Iranian missiles fired at Israel using a U.S. Navy destroyer in the Mediterranean Sea.
So now Israel has air superiority over Iran. They can't do anything about their planes flying over. Incidentally, a little fact. Israel is the size of New Jersey, where I live, one of the smaller states. Israel has 9 million people. Iran has 90 million people. Israel takes on every country around them if necessary. But you may notice that all those Arab countries are being very quiet about what Israel is doing to Iran. Iran is not an Arab country, it's a Persian country. They make that very, very clear. Don't call them Arab. While they're not Arab, they're definitely Muslims. You'd think that would keep them friendly, but doesn't happen. So now they've wiped out most of the nuclear sites, except where the ones that are deep down in the mountains. And the bunker bombs that the United States has are needed. They think they can do it. The only country that has them is the United States. They have them on the B-52 bombers.
The GBU-57 MOP bomb. MOP stands for Massive Ordnance Penetrator. It's a non-nuclear munition and it belongs to the Americans. It's the only bomb thought to be capable of hitting key Iranian nuclear targets buried deep beneath the mountains. The Fordo fuel enrichment plant near the city of Qom is about 95 miles southwest of Tehran and is believed to store crucial centrifuges for enriching uranium. The site is built into the side of the mountain, an estimated 80 meters beneath soil and rock. Israeli defense forces have already damaged multiple nuclear targets in Iran. These images, produced by the IDF, show a uranium enrichment site in the Natanz region in central Iran. Fordo is a smaller site than Natanz, but the Israelis don't have the right weapons to hit it. Known for its bunker-busting capability, the GBU-57 MOP can strike targets as deep as 61 meters, and with multiple hits, is believed to be able to penetrate even deeper. Up till now, it's only ever been used in tests. Plane equipped to drop the modern-day MOP bombs is the US B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. Each B-2 can carry 2 GBU-57s. Until recently, 6 of the stealth bombers were based at Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean, but they returned to Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri in early May this year. If the B-2s are used now, it's possible they could fly direct from the United States to Iran.
The only country that has the bunker bombs is the United States, and they need these B-2 bombers in order to be effective and use them. That's what's being decided now by Trump. Should he do it? Or should he negotiate? My feeling is it'd be nice to have a regime change over there. But you wonder, what do you have if you have a regime change? We're not going to go in and run it. And how do they form a democracy? I did some research into Iraq, which we did go in, take it over, and got Saddam Hussein out. And today, Iraq does have a parliament. They do elect them. It's kind of fragile. It may take years yet to be successful, but they have elections. They do it. And they've had different leaders since the Iraqi war. So maybe it could happen in Iran. You never know. It would be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to have a friendly country there again. But that's what's going on. It's big, big news. And that's all I have for now.